So moving on to broader medium-term strategy areas, the first area is safety. Assemblymember Prince, you wanted to ask these questions.
Chair, you mentioned in TfL's 29th July board meeting that you will have a relentless focus on safety. What will be your key safety priorities to ensure Vision Zero targets are met?
Just a tiny bit of context, first of all, where I say a relentless focus on safety. The reason for that is, it's my accountability. My job is to oversee the safety of both my customers but also my colleagues. But it's also seared into my psyche. I'm a former safety director. And having the words safety and director in your title is a sobering experience, because you are literally the controlling mind. So that, plus having been the group station manager at King's Cross 10 years after the disastrous fire and seeing the poignant ceremony there, that really has seared into my psyche the importance of a relentless, never-ending focus on safety. And the two key concepts for me, those being due diligence and guilty knowledge. Due diligence, leave no stone unturned in your quest for a safe environment and workplace. And guilty knowledge, if you know something, you can't unsee it or unhear it, you must act upon it. And that's certainly something that I've been really pitching to every team that I've ever worked with. So in terms of Vision Zero, I see that as entirely compatible with those points that I just made. We should be looking to drive down the incidences of road accidents, of be they pedestrians, powered vehicles, bus collisions, trams, whatever, any of the modes. We should be aiming for zero and taking tangible action to make that a reality.
Thank you. Just on that, we don't seem to have a proper route map for Vision Zero. We have this arbitrary year when we believe we will achieve Vision Zero, but there's no route map, there's no targets as I understand it. Will you be looking at putting in some targets on how we're going to get to Vision Zero?
Well, it is, we do have a safety scorecard target, and that is so we do track how we're progressing in terms of the incidences of road vehicle accidents or pedestrian accidents, and we in setting those targets, they are based upon actions, because otherwise they're just an aspiration. You're almost crossing your fingers. So there are specific actions that we're taking, be it with say, for example, buses, electric buses, which are inherently, they're very quiet by their nature, so we're putting on what's called, it's almost like an urban sound. We've been fitting different types of mirrors. We're working with freight organisations to create better truck designs. We've been doing work on trams, for tram safety as a result of Sandylands, and we've been undertaking redesigns of junctions to make them safer and to make to give more segregation between cyclists and road users and drivers. So there are targets, and they're based on tangible actions.
Not having any effect though, are they, Commissioner? I mean, we've seen the latest figures I've just seen show an 11% increase in pedestrian deaths on our roads over the last 12 months, or the 12 months that's measured.
Well, I mean, may I just come back to you on that? 72 people have been killed this year to date on London's roads, compared to 92 this time last year. And on a linear trend, we'd expect to see around a 20% drop in fatalities by year end. Now, obviously, it's a bit of an unusual year, but I would argue that it depends which statistics you look at. We are seeing benefit and improvement in a number of the statistics that we track.
Well, the figures I just looked at that's on your website showed an 11% increase in road deaths. So maybe you've got more up-to-date figures than you're putting on your website. But also, we've not seen any reduction in the number of people being killed by buses. That's still running at around about one person per month. It's interesting that a lot of noise was made, and quite rightly, about the 7 people who died on the trams in Sandylands, but actually every 6 months we're having a Sandylands level of deaths are people being killed by TfL buses.
All the more
And
reason.
I believe there was a move, there was some safety equipment that I know I looked at, I believe Assembly Member Russell attended that. That was a trial of a safety system which has proven to be quite successful, but then you haven't chosen to roll it out.
Well, all the more reason, though, for us to be taking tangible action on bus safety. So things like the urban bus sound to which I referred earlier, the replacement of conventional side mirrors, so that we've replaced them with enhanced side mirrors to give the operators better views. We've undertaken work with bus operators to address issues around fatigue management, to make sure that drivers are properly refreshed and in a fit state to drive. And other items, including exploration of things like autonomous braking systems. So certainly it's something that we believe passionately in. The job's not yet finished. You're right, there are still too many incidents, but we're determined to drive those down.
We've not really seen any improvement over the last 4 years in reduction in deaths. It's pretty much flatlined, the same with the bus situation. And of course you probably realise that your head of safety has no qualifications in safety at all. She's not qualified in that area whatsoever.
I'm very confident in the ability, actually, of my head of safety. She is an expert in her field, and she has other experts within her team who have direct expertise in the areas that she needs. I'm the Commissioner of Transport for London. I'm not an expert in cycling or rivers. But I have people who do. That's the essence of a good team. The leader need not necessarily be an expert in everything. They have to be an excellent visionary, a leader, and able to direct a team. And certainly my Chief of Health, Safety and the Environment absolutely meets those criteria.
So can I ask you then, Commissioner, because obviously I appreciate you've only been in the job for 101 days, next year, what levels of reduction in KSIs, particularly in deaths, would we expect to see?
Well, we're just developing the scorecards now, so I'll take that on notice. And once we've done the math and we've figured out what the benefit of the various interventions will have, we'll happily share that with you and your colleagues.
Great, actually, that'd be very helpful indeed. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Where are you in relation to COVID, Commissioner, and the effects that's having? And what are you doing about safety, increased safety regarding COVID?
Well, I mean, earlier on I listed some of the things that we were doing in terms of COVID. We're making sure that both customer and employee-facing areas are clean to an industrial standard. We're making sure that we offer PPE to our employees and we require them to wear it. We're making sure that customers themselves are wearing masks unless they're exempt. And we're providing social distancing in terms of maximising the schedule that's operated. On building sites, we have a number of measures that have been put into place, including heat testing using a gun or different technologies. We have one-way systems. We have segregated canteen facilities or well-spaced canteen facilities. Our head office buildings, including the one I work in at Palestra, has been declared or made COVID secure. So I'd say that we've put huge effort actually into making our environment COVID secure.
Thank you. To save a bit of time, Chair, I'll ask a series of questions all lumped together. It's all about trams and bus safety. So, Commissioner, I hope you'll forgive me.
Assembly Member Prince, was Caroline Russell not going to take?
Sorry, no, I'm
sure,
sorry. I do apologise. Yes, I flicked too far down on my screen. It's the wonders of modern technology. So I'm glad I preempted that and I haven't trodden on her feet. I hate to do that. I think I'll leave it there if that's all right with you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Assembly Member